not Robert Greene's 48 laws of power. Robert Greene's 48 laws of power. In this episode, we are going to look at rule number 17 to rule number 24. Rule number 17, keep others in suspended terror. Calculate an air of unpredictability. Too much unpredictability will be seen as a sign of indecisiveness or even some more serious psycho problem. So yes, be unpredictable, but it should not be too much unpredictability. Moi used to use this a lot. Moi used to use this a lot, such that he could act even without you predicting. For example, one time he called the head of the public service, Professor Philip Mbithi, and told him that he was making a cabinet change. They prepared the cabinet change, the cabinet reshuffle, the whole of it. And then Professor Philip Mbithi went home to follow the matter on the evening's news. And the list was read as he had prepared with the president. As he was about to switch off the radio, or was it the TV, from where he was seated to the switch is a distance. As he was going to switch it off, he heard that lastly, the permanent secretary in the office of the president and head of the civil service, Philip Mbithi, has been transferred to. So the list was the way they had prepared, but Moi only added one lie. So you should be unpredictable. Moi ruled Kenya with that kind of thing, where you would expect anything or whatever. And that is why Kenyans used to listen to 1 p.m. news. They used to listen to 1 p.m. news because anything could happen. But then they say, then in his rule number 17, he still goes on to say that patterns are powerful and you can terrify people by disrupting them. Can you see how Philip Mbithi was disrupted? Such power should only be used judiciously. Of course, Moi didn't use it judiciously, but George Rene, Robert Greene says that such power should only be used judiciously. This also thing, if you keep others suspended in terror, because the law says keep others in suspended terror. Suspended terror. I can give two, there are so many examples, but I'll give two examples of suspended terror. Jomo Kenyatta had red eyes. Jomo Kenyatta had red eyes, and people used to say that he had eaten the heart of a lion. So people, that mystic power, used to give people a lot of fear. Samuel Canyon Doe, the former president of Liberia, used to walk with a certain castic. If you look at him, he used to walk around with a castic. He used to say that that castic had magical power, had juju in it. So he claimed, of course, he never claimed it directly. In such a position, you have your propaganda machines who go around and say, do you see the president walking with that thing? It is magical. Once you start thinking of overthrowing him, or you start thinking anything evil against him, he will know it immediately. So that is how they say that cultivate an air of unpredictability. You cannot be predicted. And then there is that a fear of Liberians that the president had that magical power. But such things also have their negative side, because when he was caught, they wanted to see if it was true that whatever he was carrying had a magical power. So they started cutting him, what do you call, ear by ear, finger by finger, to see if that something had magical thing. Then we go to rule number 18, or is it law number 18? Do not build fortress to protect. Do not build what do you call, fortress to protect ourselves. Isolation cuts us from the other people and the feel of the people, and the feel of the people. You know, if you stay somewhere and people don't have access to you and you don't have access to people, yes, you may live mysteriously and people may. It also had another problem in law number 18. You cut yourself from the people. I have only one example I'll give you. You remember Chief Justice Chesoni. Initially, he was a judge of the Court of Appeal. Then he was declared bankrupt. He was declared bankrupt, and when he was taken back as the chairman of the Electoral Commission of Kenya, people are referring to his bankrupt case. The bankrupt case was planned against him. It was planned against him, and people used to see, but they could not reach him. They could not reach him. It is only when he was declared bankrupt that that he climbed down and started meeting with ordinary people, that people said that we saw the plan being planned against you. We saw the plan being planned against you, and there was no way we could reach you and tell you that this is what was being planned for you to counter check. That is why those who know Chesoni personally will tell you that when he was the chairman of the Electoral Commission of Kenya, going to meet him was very easy. Even if you are the simplest person, you could go and meet him and he would listen to you. So building a fortress makes it hard for us to get intelligence from the ordinary people, should anybody be against us. Rule number 19, or is it law number 19? Know whom you are dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. Deceive or outmaneuver some people, and they will spend the rest of their life seeking revenge. So know whom you are dealing with. There is another rule, can't recall which one it is, which says that when you finish somebody, finish him completely. If you let him know out without finishing him completely, you'll see lots of his laws. If you look at them, if you are to look at them at today's rate, you'll be very lucky if they'll reach even 30, because some of the rules are in some ways confirming the others or repeating the others. So let us talk about the rule number 19, or law number 19. Know whom you are dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. If you offend the wrong person, remember the other rule which said, finish your enemy completely, because if you don't finish him, he will come back and finish you. He says, deceive or outmaneuver. If you deceive or outmaneuver some people, they will spend the rest of their life seeking revenge. And there is no enemy who is as bad as the person who both carries the grudge forward, and two, looks for an opportunate time to revenge. You may not have observed the rules of power, but that person may have observed, and he will finish you off. Rule number 20, or is it law number 20? Do not commit to anyone. This limits your option and make you vulnerable to the manipulation or betrayal. Do not commit yourself to anyone. Let me give you a very good example. If you are a Kenyan, in 2007 or 2008, for Ruto to be a minister, his name was forwarded by Raila Amolo Odinga. But when Raila Amolo Odinga suspended him, he said, you are not the authorizing. You are not the okay, I don't know the word exactly, but I say you are not the person who employs or sacks the ministers. You see, once the Grand Coalition government came into, Ruto entered the Grand Coalition government through Raila, but he was not committed to Raila. Once he was sworn in as a minister, his commitment now went to Kibaki, and that is why when Raila sacked him, because he was sacking his half side of the government, he was informed that you are not the appointing authority. You're not the appointing authority. The appointing authority is Mwai Kibaki, and Mwai Kibaki felt that he should not sack Ruto. So that is why you say, do not commit yourself to anyone. If Ruto would have committed himself like Junet Mohammed to Raila, once Raila said, I'm sacking you as the Minister for Agriculture, Ruto would have. But don't commit yourself because it limits your option and makes you vulnerable to manipulation or betrayal. Now, you'll be vulnerable to two things. You'll be vulnerable to manipulation or betrayal. Manipulation is when Raila appointed Ruto as the Minister for Agriculture, he could manipulate him anyway. That is why you'll find that during the Grand Coalition government, ministers appointed by Raila would answer would answer Kibaki openly because maybe Raila was manipulating them, or they knew that Kibaki they were on the half side, half love of Raila. So you find that you make yourself vulnerable to manipulation. You make yourself. They had committed themselves to Raila, so they could be manipulated by Raila to an extent that when they attacked Kibaki, it was in reality it was Raila who was attacking that. I said the other part is betrayal. If you commit yourself to Raila 100%, okay, I know Raila has supporters whom you are only allowed to mention him positively, but I'm giving an example that if you commit yourself to uh, somebody like the Grand Coalition government, you commit yourself to Raila. If he betrayed you and sacked you, you go out. It also comes to rule number 20, also is applicable to Wamunyoro. Wamunyoro goes around and says that other regions had their political party, but Murima did not have their party. And that is why he had to go through what he went. You'll find out that after the Gen Z protested and made whatever they did, the ministers who were retained were ministers who entered into coalition, not on UDA, but on parties that were allied to Kenya Kwanza. Rule or law number 21, play dumb, make others feel smarter. Appearing less intelligence than you can be is an advantage. People do things without assuming that you don't calculate everything. This one, if I can rearrange it, I can say that if you act as a fool, then you become clever. But if you act as a clever, you become a fool. Hide your cards. Behave like a fool, but you are a clever person. Rule number 22 or law number 22, use surrender tactic. Use surrender tactic. In those who have attended military courses, like I don't include Kiganjo people here, but I'm saying people who have been to GSU, people who have been to Kenya Forest Service, people who have been to Kenya Wildlife, and people who have been to the Kenya Defense Forces. Well, there is that you withdraw and regroup. Yeah, that is the word we use. You withdraw and regroup. That is why we say rule number 22, use surrender tactic. When you are weaker, never fight for honor's sake. Choose surrender instead. We have people, you don't be a mujahideen, somebody who dies because of the cause you believe in. Use surrender tactic, withdraw yourself, come back at a time when you are now even stronger than when you are attacked. That is rule number 22. It is taught in GSU training school. It is taught in Kenya Forest, whatever. It is also taught in KDF, Kenya Wildlife also. That is surrender and regroup. So use surrender tactic. Surrender gives you time to recover time, to format and irritate your conqueror, and time to wait for his power to wane. Number 23, concentrate your powers or forces. Concentrate. Place them. Focus on key resources. Concentrate on your powers and forces. While you are attacking or being attacked, or while you are fighting, you realized that there are weaknesses here and there. Maybe there were weaknesses in communication. Maybe there are weaknesses in having your arms reaching that, whatever. During that time, you concentrate your power or the what do you call line of information, such that next time, while you attack, you will attack knowing that your what do you call your weakest link was here and whatever. So concentrate on your weakest link, make them powerful, so that in the next attack you know where to press and where to attack. Number 24, which is the last in this video, is play the perfect courtier. Flatter, yield to superior, and assert power over others in the most oblique and graceful power. The best way, somebody said, I have to repeat it, that we have, what do you call that? There was there's a history of somebody, people who gave up. Is it called whatever horse? There's a horse they mentioned. It was a wooden horse. So this horse, these people are properly beaten. They were properly beaten, and when they were properly beaten, they gave up, and they decided to gift Trojan horse. Yeah, it's called Trojan horse. They were properly beaten, and when they were properly beaten, they surrendered, and they said that they are giving out a present, a wooden horse, which was called a Trojan horse. Then the horse was pulled and placed in the castle. What the enemy did not know was that in the Trojan horse, that very big horse, they were hidden there some warriors. So that at night when they were sleeping and the fort was closed, they moved out of that big wooden horse, the Trojan horse, and started killing the people. That is why when sometimes when an enemy gifts you something, it is said it is a Trojan horse. Number 24 is the Trojan horse, where they say, play the perfect courtier. That is courting, like people court before they get married. Flatter, yield to the superior, and assert power over others in the most oblique and graceful manner. Play the fool and you will win. As we have completed, I will go very quickly in this lot of rules or laws, which are between 17 and 24. Number 17, keep others in suspended terror, cultivate an air of unpredictability. That is number 17. We go to number 18. 18 says, do not build fortress to protect ourselves. Isolation and arts is from, and uh, isolation acts as it blocks us from intelligence and the feel of the people out there. Number 19, know whom you are dealing with and do not offend the wrong person. Number 20, do not commit to anybody. Number 21, play dumb and make others feel smarter than you. Number 22, use surrender tactic so as to regroup. 23, concentrate on your powers and forces since forces are a key resources. Number 24, which is the last one on this episode, is play the perfect courtier, good in courting. Flatter, yield to the superior power and assert power over others in the most oblique and graceful manner, in the most hidden way. Is the most oblique way, so that should the person you are targeting be told, look at the way they are dealing with you, say, no, 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 this is the most loyal subordinate I have over others. Kumbe, this fellow is planning on his time. Thank you.